Okay, so now that my RAM has arrived, I get to finally get started. So first thing I do today, hopefully today I get this put together for the most part. But I'm gonna get it cleaned up. I have to rinse it thoroughly with distilled water on the inside and then get it put together. I know for a fact I have no intentions of getting it up and running today, but I want to get it cleaned up and at least 80% put together. I'm going to put that together and I'm going to put my wet bench together today. So it's going to be kind of a fun day for me. Probably the most building I'm going to be doing. Okay, we got the feet on it. Got it all unpackaged. Now she's ready to go in the bathtub. Get cleaned up. And when I say get cleaned up, I don't mean like I'm going to polish the chrome on it. I mean, I just got to wash. I got to wash the pipes out. All right, so we went ahead and washed out the radiator. I had to do one of these, fill her up, wash her out a couple times. It was pretty clean, to be honest, but there was 3 teeny tiny little black particles in there, so I'm glad I did it. I think my next step is going to be assembling the pumps. It's dual pump, so I've never done that before, so this should be interesting. Okay, so I removed all the bolts out of the top plate, and this is actually really interesting, and this is why this is a dual pump setup, because it takes 2 of these pumps to push water through this enormous radiator. And so it's designed, you see the insides are a little bit different in here. One of them has got a hole going in, so this is pushing water in here, and then this one pushes the water out. So this is the in and this is the out. So that's kind of cool how it works. Basically it's like turbos, except instead of turboing air, they turbo water. Pretty cool. And then this is the actual pump, and it's kind of crazy how these work, but it just works with a magnet. Watch this. That's it. And then they will go in here, straight down in there like that. And then there's 2 of them, and they'll work together. Feed the water through that. Very handy. Very, very handy. And now it is torqued down. And it passed the pressure test. So, we're good. Waterproof. Well, technically airproof. But she's good to go. All right. Even though this isn't the last pressure test that I'll do, I figured while I had everything out, I'd go ahead and actually test the actual radiator too. Because if the radiator can't hold air, then it won't hold water. So pass that too, so we can continue with the build. The first thing I had to do with this was I had to take this one off, replace it with this, which is a good thing that I noticed that, because it came with, and if you remember this pump, so this is designed originally to be able to put one pump in here to run off the bottom of the tube for like a normal setup. This is a very rare, custom, incredibly powerful setup. So can't use this, right? Well, I didn't know that for a while. I didn't realize that. So it's a good thing, as I was going through everything, ordering and all that, I realized that I needed to get this. So that's the first thing I got to do. Swap that out. Now she's done. All right. So I got it all mounted up. Things tightened up. Secured on there. Looks good. I'm going to sleeve these. And then all I got to do is start tubing in the water lines. There's a couple different ways I can do this, and I'm going to have to kind of figure out how I want to do it. I'm thinking about having the water come in here and out through here. These pumps are powerful enough that they can fight gravity, so I can push it up this way. But I'm not sure if that's how I want to do it. I think I'd rather come down. Okay, back to pressure testing. Got her all mounted up. I ran clear lines in here so that I can see air bubbles, can see whether or not my radiator's low, all of those things. If I ran my black tubing, I wouldn't be able to see that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am really back and forth on whether or not I'm going to color the water. And it's not even water, it's some like non-electrically conductive coolant, but it's clear, and I was gonna run it clear, but I am a little bit tempted to make it like radioactive green like that or something, just to kind of be kind of cool, but I haven't decided yet. It's kind of noob, I guess, to color your water. It's kind of like, you know, having my colors on my PC. Like, all the new guys really like it and everything, but once you're over the newness of it, it looks better not to have all your stuff flashing like a rainbow having a seizure. So yeah, and it'll be a huge pain to drain it and clean it. So once I dye it, I'm really going to be stuck with it. You know what I mean? So there's about a 95% chance that it's going to run clear. But still a 5% chance I might throw some dye in there. I'm not sure. Anyway, looks like it's holding. Awesome. Okay, and now for the final little part, which I think is super cool, might even be the coolest part of this whole build, is the, let me see if I can do it here, quick disconnects. This right here, so I have it tied into itself right now so I can air test it one final time, but these are quick disconnects so that I can disconnect the radiator from my PC, which after all of this gets cleared up and thrown out, there's going to be a wet bench PC sitting here. But I'll be able to quick disconnect it and change components in the PC, and this will be an awesome setup. So let me plug this back together and do one more air test. All right, final update for today anyway. I had to change some stuff around because I could not get the shroud on without moving this connection to the back, which was kind of crazy. Don't know why they designed it that way, but it is what it is. So that works. Got the fans on the back. So she should be 100% ready to go. Air pressure tested. Looks phenomenal. I really like it. I'm not sure about this being over the top of that, but it should be fine because it's, you know, it's running off of two of these pumps, so there should be enough water pushing out through. But anyway, so now I just have to bust out the power supply, get everything wired in, stick fluid in it, and then, all right. So I had to take the shroud off, open up the top, starting to put the fluid in, coolant, and it works, man. I already ran it once. I'll show you how I got it wired up back here. Hold on. Alright, so I filled it up again. And if you notice, this is now level with this. But I got this still open, so I'm not sure what's about to happen here. But, so anyway, this is how I got it wired up. I've got, this plugs into the motherboard. I had to buy a little clip to clip in here, and it's basically fooling the power supply into thinking that it's plugged into a motherboard. And that's the only way it'll work. And then I have, and of course I'll clean all this up later, but got both of the power ends, pumps connected, and I don't have the stuff connected to the motherboard because I don't have that put together yet that'll control the fans and the speed and all of that. All right, so I had to put the plug back in, but here we go. Now we're starting to flush all the air out. Oh yeah, I really got all the air out. Okay, well there we go. I think I'm gonna have to top it off. Yeah, this is already coming clear. So good. Okay, so me leaving this off actually did what it was supposed to do. But I had to plug this up, so now it's bringing all the little micro bubbles and everything out of the radiator. So I'm gonna have to let this run for... Okay. So I got this all put together. I've been cycling it off and on throughout last night and this morning. It's running right now. Bubbles are about as good as they're gonna get, to be honest with you. It's back to clear. I mean, super clear. So dead silent, but that's because I don't have the fans plugged in yet. Here's the wet bench. Got the wet bench roughly, like loosely put together. Like that's for a fan. But here over the next couple of days, we'll get the kingpin on there. I'm gonna pull that 12900 out and hook that up first. And then I got a 13900 KS on the way.